How's it going? It's Michael with IdeateTV. We are here at San Diego Comic-Con 2024, and I am here with...
Ashleigh Hairston.
And Ashleigh, tell the people out there who you are, what you do, and why you're here.
Oh, I am very excited to be here. I am here for the third year in a row on a panel, not to brag, but I'm very happy to be here. It's very exciting. I have a new show out called The Fairly Odd Parents, A New Wish, and I am a co-executive producer, co-story editor, writer, and the voice of the new God Kid, Cosmo and Wanda's new God Kid, Hazel Wells.
That's great. And where can people watch The Fairly Odd Parents?
You can watch it on Nickelodeon, Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. or 3 p.m. if you get the East Coast feed. We're on the West Coast, so 6 or 3. Not to confuse you.
And how did you get started doing all of this?
Oh, yes. So I have been in Los Angeles for 12 years. I started out in improv and sketch comedy, and I learned to write characters and write sketches for myself, and writing and performing characters then led to voice acting, and then voice acting led to writing and animation. So one of my first roles that I booked was as the voice of Ren on the show Craig of the Creek on Cartoon Network, and doing that role led to staff writing on the show. So I started staff writing on that show January of 2020 during the pandemic. And I tell you, everything shut down, but animation took off.
Right.
And so, yeah, I started out as a staff writer on that show, still voice acting. But then I ended up selling my own preschool animated series to Netflix, and I was in development there for 2 years. I ended up writing on a show called Wolf Boy and the Everything Factory on Apple TV Plus. And then Craig of the Creek got renewed for a season 5, plus a prequel feature film, plus a spin-off show called Jessica's Big Little World. And so I went to that show to help be head writer for a bit before moving to Nickelodeon, where I am now. So it's a long journey. 12
And
years.
what made you get started in voiceover?
I had no intentions.
That's most people. That's most people.
It was really a forced. I was forced into it.
Yeah.
Just kidding. No. Yeah, I think because I was performing so much and performing like characters and sketches, and people just kept telling me, you have a great voice, you should do voice acting.
You have a very unique, adorable voice.
Thank you so much. You do too.
Can you be on my Siri, please?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Turn right at the light. In 400 feet, make a U-turn.
My producer here, Rob, he needs a new voice for his Siri because he's growing tired of the standard Siri voice.
I'm available for hire.
Hey, so do you have any advice for anyone out there who would like to get into your field?
Yes, of course. Here's my advice. First, you mean voice acting, or do you mean
Voice acting.
voice acting? Okay, so if you want to be a voice actor, you got to get thick skin, because it is not an overnight process. So first, I would recommend to figure out what kind of voice actor you want to be. You know, there's lots of different kinds. So you could do, commercials. You could do animation. You could do adult animation or kids animation. You can do anime. You can do video games. You can do narration. You can do dubbing. There's so many different, branches of it. Said branches of government. Politics on my brain. Okay, so yeah, there's so many different kinds of voice acting you can do. So identify what kind of voice acting you want to do, then start looking up classes specific to that field. Okay. And then once you're doing classes, I also recommend taking acting classes in addition to voice acting, because voice acting is acting. People skip that step. They, run out and they're like, I want to be a voice actor. And it's like, okay, you got to learn how to act first too, because that's what you're going to be doing in the booth, you know?
Right.
And so, yeah, take your classes, and then after that, start, focusing on building your voiceover reel, maybe looking into getting voice representation, a voiceover agent. And then, yeah, start auditioning. Auditioning is just practice, don't get so attached to any role. Just take it, have fun with it, and you may or may not be right for the role. It has no reflection on you as a person or your talent, but yeah, just keep going.
So I was wondering, when you go in for a voiceover session, what is your most comfortable outfit?
I actually have a specific thing I do. I actually take my shoes off every time I go in to the booth. I don't know what it is about that, but I cannot record with my shoes on. I think it's a need to feel grounded and be active as well. Just kind of connect with the earth and then become, so no shoes and anything. That's
Sweats.
The beauty of voice acting, is you can literally wear anything.
Right.
Yeah, just show up and
No jingly jewelry or anything like that, right?
No jingly jewelry.
So since you branched out into writing and producing, do you think that journey was a linear journey?
It was actually, yeah. I would say this project is the first time I've been able to marry all of my, abilities into one role, and they all kind of came sequentially over the course of 12 years. So, linear in that I kept going, yes, but not linear in that I didn't plan on doing voice acting, but then voice acting is what got me this job too, So I like to explain it as, this industry, this business, I like to think of it as an amusement park where we are all here. We're all here and we're excited to ride rides. And there's so many different rides to ride. And some of the rides take a long time to get on. And some of them have short lines, But maybe there's a ride that you've been waiting to go on for forever since you got to the park. And you're like, dang, look at that person. They got on the ride before me, and looks like they're having a blast. But something you have to remember is that you're at the park, you're here, enjoy it, take your time, have fun. If you're standing in line waiting for a ride, introduce yourself to the people next to you, You never know who could be standing in line with you. You never know what kind of opportunities will arise while you're at the park. So, have fun, don't rush.
That is great advice. And I have one last question for you. What makes you a Hollywood game changer?
Oh my gosh. Well, aside from these shoes, I am going to embrace what I'm about to say, but I am kind of shaking up the animation industry. That's a big, bold statement. And it's something that's taken me a long time to embrace. But I'd never seen anybody in my role before me.
Right.
And, voice acting and executive producing and writing who looks like me. I've never seen anybody who looks like me in that role. Mm-hmm. So I think that is changing the game in itself, Hopefully it's inspiring to people who may want to do the same thing. But yeah, I didn't have that person before me to be like, yes, that's, I want to be like them. Oh my gosh, they look like me. I want to do that. Right. And so I feel very grateful and I feel very blessed to be in the position that I am. I'm having so much fun with it. And yeah, it's good. I'm going to keep going. I want to be the Shonda Rhimes of animation.
That's great. So since you had no one to model your career after, other people can model their careers after you now.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
Feel free.
Thank you very much for your advice and your insight. IdeateTV at San Diego Comic-Con 2024 is signing off.